come up again with some other better idea of how to move on in life. Then the third stage, that is normal. It's normal, is a thing that is expected. The issue of anger, not just to the lost thing, but to yourself, that's those who have lost those things, to people around them, to so many things around them, that you will be feeling, why is this person behaving like this? Anger, aggression, talking rudely. If you notice, when we talk about grief, I always tell people, it's not just losing somebody to death or something. Even some family members, when they are not around you and you need them around you, and you are the only one there, nobody to talk to, the next person that comes closer to you say, what can I do? How can I help you? What is it? And so many other things like that. You are very, very, very much aggressive, and you just need to pour out something to somebody so that you get relief. And some people will not even get relief, but they start to kick things around them, and by so doing, they destroy their physical standing, and even destroy some other things around them if care is not taken. So when we talk about grief counseling, we should expect anger. Sometimes, as a counselor, the person you are going to give counsel to will say, Ace, counselor, or what did you call yourself? I'm hearing you. And then, after then, and so, after that, what happened? Or some will not even talk. Some will not talk, but the anger will be there, pouring, boring, and they want to pour it on somebody. They have not even been able to pour it on anybody, and they are just looking for an opportunity to revenge, an opportunity to pour the anger, an opportunity to show the whole world that they are innocent, an opportunity to do a lot of things, to just to express themselves. So all these things are there, like a case of culture, a case of religion that is selling on the other side of it to a particular person. So the person that is at the receiving end is there yelling, waiting for something to happen so that he can address that issue in an angry manner. So the issue of anger is there, and we should expect it towards the person we are giving the grief counseling to, or towards the person we are trying to help out of grief. So it is a normal thing. So we should expect that, and we should not take it as an offense. Rather, we should help them to plan the way forward. You can be working as a counselor, and the person you are helping will tell you, hey, counselor, what do you call yourself? I don't just want to see you closer to me. I don't want to see you around me. I said, I don't need you. You should get away. I said, I'm not interested in you. I don't want to hear anything from you again. Just leave me and do this and do that. So the thing you will be looking at is, where is the shock coming from again? What happened again? Sometimes some people will just go numb. I've treated a case of a woman that saw her husband abusing a child that is not up to 8 days. So the next thing she felt, she met herself in the hospital. She was able to get recovered. For 2 years, she refused to talk to anybody. She just cared for the baby and was looking numb. It was her sister that met me sometimes before that time that recommended that they should bring her to my office so that we will know what is really wrong with her. She just communicates important thing with people through paper. She doesn't talk to anybody. She was so shocked. She couldn't believe herself that How could my pastor husband, a man I so much trust, do this to our own child, my own child? What is in his head? And so many other things like that. So she didn't talk. And they brought her the first day. I look at her, I try to communicate with her. The thing I just observe is that she will just breathe in and out heavily, and that's the end. She might not do that again for the next 30 minutes. So I told them, I said they should take her away and bring her another day. So they brought her another day, and then I started with her. Your husband did something very crazy to me. I know that's one of those things that is disturbing you. But then you cannot go on like this. Why he will remain free, nobody to punish him, and nobody to fight for him. So you just need to let us know what is going on. And she picked a piece of paper and wrote what happened on that day and where she could see it more. So the next thing I did was to arrest the man, lock the man up. Then I told them they should bring her another day. And the next day, she started talking. And she was able to express all those things that happened before she went no. So we need to know how to manage that stage of anger. It is a very common thing, and you don't need to get annoyed when you get to that stage of grief counseling. Another stage is bargaining. When you want to bargain, you look at what you will use to take away the pain from that person. What are the alternative things you can use to take the pain out of the person? Take for example, a woman is driving on the road, and unfortunately the child opens the door unknowingly without looking at the back. Then before they know it, another vehicle strip off that child with the door. The guilt of I killed my child will be in that woman forever. So how do you take such thing away from her? How did you make her? How will you make her to believe that she's not the one? It is just a circumstance that leads to that. So all those things are the stages we need to know so that we can accompany or we can look for alternative things to take away those guilt from such people. So we need to, when we talk about grief counseling, is another aspect of social work that it is very, very professional. And you need to work with professionals too. The psychologists and so many other people are there around you. Then as a social worker, you cannot do it alone. The health workers too should be there. Because sometimes you hit some things, the nails, some nails on the head, and the person flare up, and before you know it, it gets into a BP or some other issues which you need to arrest. So you have to go with some other professional workers, or you go as a team so that you can do your work perfectly. Another thing that I choose is that stage of depression. No matter what you have been doing to counsel somebody who is in the grief, the stage of depression is that stage where the person is lonely, nobody is around the person, and sleepless nights sometimes. Why some people would choose to go into eating disorder, eating different things that does not even supposed to get closer to the mouth. It is that time of grieving you will see some people, they will go and cut stick and start showing. Some will even go to iron and be biting iron just to take away that grief. It's a stage of depression. It will come. So it is left to you as a social worker to respect it, know when it sets, and know when to curb it so that you can do it very well. Then, when you are out of that depression stage, your client is able to sleep properly at the appropriate time. You look at the timing, the waking up, and some other activities timing, and it's rhyming perfectly the way it ought to be. Then you look at testing. The testing stage is a stage where you find solution of other means of dealing with the loss of such person. So you have to look, okay, is your work really okay? Have you really done the right thing? If you have not done the right thing, then what and what did you need to put in consideration if you have not done the right thing? If you have done the right thing, yes, should the person go ahead, reorganize the person with the roles he or she has been performing in the family, in the workplace, in the friendship place, and then see if the person is able to cope without thinking about the grief again. So it could be the issue of birthday, special events, holidays, and so many other things. Or the special song the person, whenever he or she hears that sound before, how the person used to react to such songs or dance to such songs. So you use that to test the person and see if the person has really, really coped with all the stages we have been managing for some time. But the most important thing is that grief is not just a thing we start in a day and then we also finish it within a particular short period of time. Sometimes we anticipate that it could be short, it could be long, and sometimes we anticipate that it could be long and then it could be very, very short. So when we talk about grief, there are different types of grief. We have the anticipatory grief, we have some common grief, we have the complicated grief, and sometimes too, we have what we call the complex. So it all depends on the type of grief that we are working with. So when we talk about anticipatory grief, I hope I'm communicating and everybody understood what I'm saying. Can I go ahead?
Yes, ma'am.
Am I communicating?
Go ahead. Thank you.
Are we enjoying the class or I'm talking too much?
Yes, ma'am.
Join.
Okay.
Normal.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. All right. Yes, ma'am.
So when we talk about anticipatory grief, is the type of grief that has to do with emotions. The emotions we are going to experience after such loss. It could be social, it could be physical, it could be regular contact, and so many other things like that. We are adults, we don't need to talk about that. So this type of grief is a grief that the relationship, the counselor might not really know how to hit the real thing, because many a times in anticipatory grief, the hidden, the real thing is always very secretive and hidden. It is not what is on the surface that is really, really the issue. Take for example, a woman and a man separated, and the woman said, well, you are the one that separated from me. I did not separate from you. We are going to die together. You never say anything. Madam, he say you no do again. He say me I do now. And you be like, what is so special about this man that this woman wants to kill herself? There are so many other special things, but it might not be very easy for her to communicate to people, because by the time she start to open up to communicate to me, say, hey, you know that he's doing all that one, then why are you complaining about that minor one that led to your separation? She will just be looking up. So those are anticipatory grief that you need to be very, very careful. It's more or less like an individual issues, and many a times it is very, very secretive, that if you are not very, very careful, you might not really be able to nail what actually is the problem. So it could look normal, but it is abnormal, and it is known to the person that's in the grief alone. So you as a counselor, you just need to look at a previous experience to talk about this, talk about that, talk about this, talk about that. And if you are very lucky, sometimes some of the clients will now open up and say, that's not even the issue. That's not even the issue. It is so. Then you will know that many a times anticipatory grief is more of a social support, a moral support, and hidden issues that cannot be discussed openly between the two parties, especially if it has to do with loss of emotional feelings. When we talk about the common grief, these are the grief that happens to people that we lost, because that's when we talk about grief, that's where many people's mind usually flow to, the loss of the loved ones, which is mostly has to do with just 50% to 70% of grief. When we talk about grief, we always look at the minority aspects of the grieving. So it's a normal grief. We expect that they cry, they mourn, they do this. Some people will be coming, they tear their clothes, blah, blah, blah. So they are just difficult emotional periods that sometimes some people they easily drop it, move ahead, and sometimes some people they still stick to it, and then if care is not taken, they have emotional distress over such thing, and then they cry internally, and you always see them having that dissatisfaction in their social life since the loss of such person. Maybe they are the type that are very agile, very vibrant, very kind-hearted before. Then before you know it, they are they have withdrawn with so many other social activities. And if care is not taken, many a times the moody part of this kills such people. So we just have to be very, very careful so that we know the type of grief we are really going into. That's why in the first stage I said we need to know it. We need to know it. So that's the first C there. We need to know it. Is it the type of grief that we really need to work on, or we need to connect what the grief is? Now, there's what we call the complicated grief. Complicated grief has to do with a lot of things that will happen within a very short period. And many a times, it brings in anxiety disorder. And it leads to a very serious depression in clients if the care is not taken. Because it could be chronic, it could be inhibited, it could be distorted, and sometimes it could be delayed. So that's why we call it complicated grief, because the disorder that is always attached or the aftermath of it is always too complex for just a particular professional to handle. It's always very complex. Take for example, the breadwinner of the family is lost. The whole of the family, they are living in a particular house. You are still mourning the person. Then a week or two after, the bank brought in their memo that the house that all of you are staying in has been used as a collateral to borrow in the bank. So you have been given a month notice to quit the place. Then before you know it, another financial agent came in about 2-3 days after. You don't know who to ask, what is happening. You are still thinking about where to pack to, what to do. This is the breadwinner of the family, just gone like that. Then another one come in and said, well, your sorry about your loss, but then the man involved is owing so amount of money. He has used some of the cars to do a collateral and some of the other properties that he has. And who is the head of the family? Please, we need you to sign this for us. And the lawyer. And we'll be like, what is going on here? Then maybe within that week, about 3 or 4 women came with different children. So the disorder, the complexity of issues around the grief. This is somebody that I've not told you I have other children with other women. This is somebody that I've not told you as a wife I have borrowed money with all our cars, even your own car. This is somebody that I've not told you that my business is having problem. I have gone to bank to use our only house as collateral. And you are thinking of where do we move to? You are thinking of your frozen account. You are thinking of this, that, and so many other things. So many things come in, and those are the things that brings about those disorders. And if the disorder is not taken care of, the person could be sorted so many other things that will make the grieving period to be very complex and complicated. And if care is not taken, you might not even be able to achieve the aim of that gift. Sometimes we have what we call the prolonged, the complex grief, or the persistent grief. So these are the things that happens when that grief belongs very prolonged and persistent. I think I have made some contribution today. I don't know if you have any question, let me know so that we round up the class.
Hello, ma. Good morning
Yes,
once
I will
again, ma.
do.
Yes, ma. If one is asked about the grief stages, do we offer the 4 of that shock, numbness, yearning, disorganization, or do we go for the denial, anger, bargaining? Which one do we
It
if
depends
they
on
ask the
you and
question?
the type of grief you want to handle. It depends on you. If you can break it to 7, fine. You can break it to 4 and do it perfectly, fine.
Okay, so we can pick anyone. I'm asking maybe in an examination situation, ma. We can
You
offer
can pick
anyone.
anyone. You can pick
Okay.
anyone. Even the 7 still fall under that 4.
Oh, okay, ma. Thank you.
Hello, ma.
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, ma. Please, is there any theory relating to this grief stage?
There are so
Because
many theories attached to it. Oh. Attachment theory is there. Oh. Or you have forgotten your theories. Go back to your theories. Oh. Functionalism theory is there. Do you understand it? Feminism theory too will come out there.
okay, ma.
Eh?
Okay.
Where families will tell you that as a female, you don't have any right to a particular thing. Here culture will also deny you that when they are talking, you don't need to talk. You are a female. Eh? Do you understand it now?
Yes, ma.
Yeah, complex theory will also come in. And when complex theory come in, you will see the issue of agreement and non-disagreement, this, that. So many theories are attached. So many theories. Psychological theory too will be there.
Okay, ma.
Psychological theory is there too. So there are so many theories that are attached. In the area of the psychological theory now, somebody will say, hey, because I don't have money, that's why they are looking down on me. I will burn the whole house now. Everybody will stand to say, all of us, I need your new company. We won't have anything. Everybody will be all right. Or you have not heard that before. Eh?
Yes, I've I've had that severally.
Psychological theory will come in. There is somebody, one of your siblings will just stand up and said, hey, let me tell you people, you know that when our father was alive, he sent you to university and you did PhD. And even after your PhD, he managed, he do wedding for you, abi no do am. Wetin he do for me? He will not tell people that time that he has been stealing the man's money to do nonsense for himself or taking drug with the money. You want to talk? You want to talk? Is it not you that went to jam his car that day at Kubwa? You are talking now, abi? So many things will come in. So many theory. Personality theory too will come in. Do you understand me now? So it depends on the situation that comes in. That's
Okay,
when
ma.
you will now look at the theory that is applicable to those situations. Do you
Okay.
understand me now?
Yes,
So
ma.
many theories follow.
Thank you, ma.
You're welcome. Any other question?
Hello, ma. Sorry,
Yes.
ma. The first one we talked about was the stages of this grief counseling. Then the next one was the types of grief. I believe they are different. We mentioned like 5 under the stages and under the types. Can we join it together? Like if they ask any question on this grief counseling.
I don't know. If you want to join, you can join. If you want to join, you can join. You have the power to do. It's your paper. Join now if you want to join. Any other question? Any other question so that we can call it a day? Some pastors are in between us. No let Jesus come and beat me here.
Ma, won't you do any class for us again for revision before the exams?
No, ma, because I always make sure that I really touch what I need to touch in my classes. Or which one I never touch now.
Ma, you sent me a video on oral fixation about and I sent to the class. You told us to go and look at that video. You said we were going to discuss something more, but you touched on it, I think, in our last class.
So what did you want again? Okay. Oral fixation and anal fixation. I have treated it with you. Sam, you can bear me witness because you asked question that day and I answered you perfectly.
Yes, ma.
Sam Akipelu, am I telling lies?
Okay.
No, ma, you're not telling lies, ma. We just wanted that you do it.
No. I really downloaded everything for you. What could cause oral fixation? What could cause anal fixation? Which I really narrated to you. And some people ask questions and I answer you. We even treated the ego theory that day, personality theory of fraud.
You also said we should go and read about juvenile delinquency, the biological theory, the sociological theory, and the
yes, now go and read about it now. Èmi kọ́ mo ń kọ́ yín theory mọ́ àbí kò wá ní Tọ́pẹ́. Ṣé tó fẹ́ join theory mọ́ kíláàsì yìí?
Thank you.
Doctor is there. He's giving you people. He gave you people the opportunity to touch all your theories in those questions he gave to you, those topics he gave to you. But nobody, you people were just beating around the bush. Somebody is talking about the people, and before we know it, the person is talking about juvenile delinquency. When we have the communication theory and some other theories in the old people, that's when oral fixation theory to come from. Old people that doesn't talk when they are younger, they don't talk when they are old. But if you see the one that talks when they are younger, when they are old, whether you like it or not, if you like, tell them, Mama, I'm spending 10 minutes here. You say yes, okay, no problem. Thank you for coming. By the time he escorts you to us, I say, hey, did you hear from your Uncle Bilewu? They called me day before yesterday. You can spend 30 minutes talking about Uncle Bilewu. You have already opened your car. Hey, Auntie Shalewa even said that. Have you never met people like that before? It's 10 minutes to budget.
Yes,
ma'am. You spend 5 hours. You can spend the whole day. And before you know, you say, call me, look at up. It is dark already. God will never let us see something that is bad. Come and lie down. This house is your house. Nobody is chasing you. Sit down. Enjoy yourself. Relax. There's nowhere we are going. Nobody is doing this to us. So relax. Let's talk. Let's talk about our life, Jare. I don't even know where you are rushing to. Have you never seen adults like that?
We have, ma.
So, what are you talking about now? For anal fixation, adults that grew up when they were growing, they grew up under the influence of people that are giving them headache. Automatically, when they are adults again, they have problem unless they grew up with their children that love them. That's why, as a man, you have to be very careful. If your wife is the no-nonsense type that shouts on your parents, it's better you get a caregiver for them. And also look at the work of the caregiver. Because sometimes some caregivers are crazy. So these people, when they grow up, those things that happen to them when they were very, very, very tender comes back to their memory. because they cannot help themselves again. They cannot express themselves again. So when is the shouting time, they withdraw. That's why you see an elderly person that will poo on their body. Because that time when the poo is coming, they are afraid of you shouting down on them. They have the depression that if not for my condition, I will not be in this stage. And the person that can help me is not even around. Let me just do it on myself. That's what we mean by anal fixation. Do you understand me now? And
yes,
when we talk about anal fixation, it is in different stages. The stages of production, they have passed that. In the area of the stages of production, there are so many things that happen. It has advantages, it has disadvantages. So please go and read it. It's for your own good. I don't think anybody is asking you a question on that. But then, if you don't know it very well, it will be a disadvantage to you as a social worker.
Thank you, ma.
Sometimes I wonder if a social worker will tell me that I don't have what to do. I will just laugh. You don't have what to do. Have you read all your social work? You cannot finish reading it. Even professors don't finish reading it. Yeah, let's go there. Which other question?
Area of concentration for exams.
Huh? Area of concentration.
Concentration for exams.
Area of
For the
concentration.
new students.
Yes,
Yes,
ma.
ma.
Concentrate on my name. K-E-M-I.
Yes.
For the new students, ma. They don't know what is coming.
They should go and read. They should go and listen to all the other. That they can be better. No be new students disappoint us. We don't get our time. They refuse to have our time today now. I will advise the new student, if you don't know what you want to do, don't write exam. Because if you write exam and you miss it, you are going to pay for rewriting. And their exam is 50%. Anything below 50% is fail. I'm not threatening you. I'm just guiding you. Because it's mini, mo. It's ABCD. Whether you choose the correct one or choose the wrong one. And if you are not a very good student, there are always two likely answers in my own questions. If they use my own question, I always give two likely answers. So if you don't know very well, you choose the wrong one.
It should be hard.
What is that to like the question? Answers.
So for new students, if you really don't know what you want, don't rush. Because you have to pay for writing another paper. And it's like they are bringing in new policy now. So just calm down. If you don't know, if you are just joining in the past 3 weeks, don't rush yourself. Make up your mind that you are rounding up next year. You cannot meet this September rounding up. But if you are a very good student, where your head be like my own coconut head, fine. Push in, and you can get something better. Any other thing, can I go now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I will call it a day. Thank you very much.
Please,
So
ma.
we
Thank
have
you, ma.
divided the family into 8 circles. I hope you remember that. I hope you remember that we divided the family into 8 circles.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay.
ma.
Who can tell us the first one?
Single young adult.
Yes. The second one.
Dating stage.
The third one. And only you dey class. Let everybody use their brain now. Make dem no think say you don see orizo.
Ah, hey God, I wish.
The third one is young, newly married couple.
Yes. The fourth one.
The fourth one is raising children.
Revision. We are doing it now. Nobody is talking again.
I mean, young
Fourth one is
children.
raising up of children.
Yes. The fifth one.
Adolescent stage.
Adolescent stage.
Adolescent stage.
Yes. Yes. The sixth one.
Young adult stage.
Yes. The seventh one.
As a grieving stage.
Grief stage.
Irọ́ o, ta la fẹ́ brief ṣé wọ́n ti kú ni? Kò sí ìṣẹ̀ni tó kú náà. I know that you people usually mix the 7th and the 8th stage together. So identify the difference between the 7th and the 8th stage. Are we
Grief stage,
there?
terminal stage, ma.
Ma?
Grief stage and terminal stage.
Yes, grief stage and terminal stage. I am very sure that every one of us will be able to pass the exam very well. So can we call it again now?
Thank you, Mommy. And happy Sunday.
Thank you, ma.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma.
Thank you. Wish you a very good Palm Sunday.
Thank you, ma.
Thank you, ma. You too, ma.
Thank you, ma.
Family structure. Elements that contribute to family dynamics.
Material for 717 or is just